at your neighbor while you're taking your seat. Just say two are better than one. Two are better than one. Two are better. I was thinking about as I said earlier, the wonderful time that we had last night. And you know, as I was meditating this morning, as I was here with my wife and was cleaning up, and I would say, you know, that's what we were created to do, is to fellowship and to be around one another. Coming to church and gathering ourselves together, there is something more than just saying that we have come to church. But not only do we come and bask in the presence of God and receive teaching and direction, and we worship and praise him together, but we come for the fellowship. We come for the fellowship. I commended the church on Wednesday because of the visitors that we had last Sunday, and they came in and they said how welcome they felt and how much love that they felt. And they didn't say nothing about my sermon. They didn't say nothing about my sermon. And I told them Wednesday, I say, you have the most important role in this church. You do. You have the most important role in this church. It is not how well a sermon or a text is preached or taught that's going to help anybody all the time. Please don't misunderstand that statement. But it is how we treat one another. Because I can stand before God and say, God, I was a good preacher. But you didn't know how to treat folks. So that lets me know that it's not about the preaching and the singing and all this, the religiosity that we go through, but it's about how I treat people. I believe that when we stand before God, he's not going to care anything about denominations and titles and all of these things and material gain and businesses and how many people clap for you when you say certain things. I believe what's going to cause a lot of us to miss heaven is by the way we treat people. We are very skilled at having church, but we have very poor social skills. I said, Lord, I want to be very skilled with the people that you placed in my life. I'm not the best preacher, teacher, singer, whatever you want to call it. And that doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is when my wife tells me I'm not a good husband. If my daughter says I'm not a good father. Or if somebody says I'm a terrible person to work with. Or somebody says they hate to see me coming at the restaurant or hate me to see me coming to their register. That bothers me more than somebody saying you can't preach or you can't sing or you can't do blah, 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 whatever. You can't quote scriptures or not. No. What bothers me the most is when it's been made known to me that I'm not treating people right. That will keep me from seeing Jesus in peace. The reason Jesus performed miracles and did all the teachings and the things that he did in this earth, the reason he died on the cross was for people. It wasn't to impress anybody or to get a title or anything like that or to establish a church or to get his name in lights. It was to help people. So which lets us know this afternoon that the most important thing that we need to understand is that we need relationships and that we need to understand and be aware of how we treat people. Write this down in your notes if you're a good note taker. A truly successful life is not based on the amount of material gain that you accumulate. A truly successful life is not based on the amount of material things that you gain or accumulate. But it is that life that touches other lives. Examples are the people you help, the people that you love, the people that you support, the people that you care about, the people that you rejoice with and cry with, the people that you embrace during times of disappointment and loss. That's a successful life. The children you raise, the grandchildren you see about, the wife that you tend to during her ailment, the husband that you tend to, that you take back and forth to the doctor, that you rub his feet and rub his back and you change his wounds. That's a successful life. And people tend to look at people like that with testimonies like that and say, I feel sorry for them. But have you ever looked at the fact that you are living a successful life? Because the person that God has placed in your life with a need, you are helping and fulfilling that person's need. Don't feel sorry for yourself because you have all of these needy people around you who seem like they can't do anything to help themselves. You say, Lord, why me? Why have you placed this person, these people in my life? He says, because I want you to live a successful life. You can have millions of dollars and live an unsuccessful life. But these people that you, as I listen to the announcement about Sister Kiki's accomplishments, it's those moments when you go and show up at the graduation. When you're sitting out there and you're clapping and you're standing along with her mom and her family members, they remember those moments. Just by you being at that occasion like that, who's to say that would just encourage her to go on, to know that somebody's behind her and loves her and cares about her and supports her, to go visit that person in the hospital, to send them a card, to send them a flower, to give them a phone call, and they say, hey, I was just thinking about you. That's a successful life. But we have received the world's definition of what success is. Me, myself, and I, how much money I've got, my car, my house, how much money I make an hour, how much can I accumulate for myself. This is vanity. This is senseless. To have help and resources at your fingertips and refuse to have anybody else come into your life that you can help. The writer of Ecclesiastes chapter 4 says, I took a look at a useless thing, and I saw this person who had it all, but no one to share it with. He said, I began to ponder on this thing that didn't make any sense. To be that blessed, so-called, and be that anointed, so-called, and to know it all and have it all, but refuse to have relationships where you can be a blessing to someone. You are wasting your time. You are living a failed life. He says, it's vanity, it's senseless, it's a waste of time. We were created to help one another. The tragic incident that took place in Connecticut, I noticed something, not just about the lives that were lost, not just about the hurt families, but I looked at the fact of how people rallied together. How people